games, well, not both, I shouldn't say both, but, if they win the next game, which is against us, that's 2 points for them, no points for us. All of a sudden we have a 1-point lead, and they still have a game in hand. Where then, okay, that's where it was in my head. Then when they do catch up on that game in hand, they win that one, they're a point up on us. So a win for the Avalanche is crucial. Gets them back into a very realistic, we can make this happen and control our own fate sort of thing. Wild, very important. Gain separation. Help with tiebreaker situations, although I want to say I've been told that they would already own the tiebreaker. How that could even possibly be determined with 7 games to go yet, I don't understand. But there's some weird stuff in hockey. But the Wild desperately want to extend that to a 5-point lead, with Colorado having the game in hand then, where even if they win it, still, straight up then the Wild would have 3 points, worst case scenario, up on the Avalanche, with just it'd be about 6 games to go then at that point in time. Yes, it would be. So huge game. I can't stress how big and huge and important for both teams this game on Saturday at 2 p.m. is. Man, I will be watching that with my brand new Wild hat on. That's right, I forgot all about that. I got a brand new super pimp, super sharp looking Minnesota Wild hat, all green and red, obviously. And I got that at Sam's Club. And I want to bring that up because if you are a sports fan and you have a Sam's Club membership, check out the closed sections at Sam's Club every once in a while. You can get some of the best freaking windbreakers, hoodies, polo shirts, and in this case, caps, hats, baseball caps that are out there. And they're like, I got this Wild cap. It's a $30 hat. If you go into the Mall of America, you can find this same hat in Lids or whatever other athletic store, that sells athletic apparel you want to go into. You can find this exact same Wild hat. It's $30 to $35 in any regular store. Sam's Club, they got a whole bunch of different ones. $10.99, 11 freaking bucks for a totally pimp, awesome looking Minnesota sports team hat. So get on out there if you're a Minnesotan, don't you know? And go to Sam's Club, Maybe check out their hats. But enough talking about my clothes. Let's get back to looking at the playoff picture around the league. And wow, it is in fact, while we will not be able to work our way up to the top wild card spot, that's just not going to happen. It is possible that the team I thought had locked up the top wild card spot will actually move into one of the top 3 spots in its division. And it is possible that the team that was sitting at number 1 in the whole Western Conference for probably half of the regular season or more will be the top wild card now, and that is the ever-schneiding Chicago Blackhawks. They are just 2 points ahead of the Nashville Predators, each having 8 games to go. The Predators currently sit in the top wild card spot, and the Blackhawks currently sit in the 3rd Central Division spot. Blues 4 points above the Blackhawks at number 2. Blues 2 points behind the Stars, once again atop the Central Division with 97 points. The Kings would be on top of the Pacific with 93, the Ducks with 90, and the Sharks with 88. So you will only have 3 teams, the top 3 teams coming from the Pacific, and then you will have the top 3 from the Central, and both wild cards will come from the Central as well, as correctly predicted in the preseason by yours truly. Then moving out east, you've got the Capitals, who have just owned the National Hockey League this year. They have clinched the number 1 seed. They can just, honestly, they should call up everybody on their minor league team and have them play the last 10 games of the season here that they have. They have 10 games to go, and they have 109 points. They've won 52 of their 72 games. Just flat out won them. Crazy. 15 losses in regulation and 5 overtime losses. Remarkable. 109 points. Next closest in the Eastern Conference, in the entire conference, also in their division, 17 back And the Capitals have 2 games in hand on them. And that would be the New York Rangers with 92 points, followed by the Penguins with 85. Rangers likely to hang on to that 2 spot, but that 3 spot in the Metro Conference, that's a tight race between the Penguins currently at 88, the Islanders at 87, and the Flyers at 85. And then in the Atlantic Division, you've got the Panthers on top with 91, the Lightning with 89, and then battling for the 3rd spot, you've got the Bruins with 86, and the Red Wings with 85. So whoever loses out on that will be battling with, whoever loses out between the Penguins, Islanders, and Flyers for their 2 wildcard spots in the East. So while the top spot is completely locked up, a lot of seeding could change and take place in the Eastern Conference yet. But like I said, we've got 8 games, depending on what team you're following, somewhere in there. That's all we got left in the NHL regular season. 2 weeks worth of games, and then we're on to the playoffs for Lord Stanley's Cup, and it's going to be fantastic. Can't wait. But yeah, so there is professional balls on ice, and we've also got some college balls on ice this week. That's right, we are talking college hockey talk. And we are going to start our college hockey talk with the only, or at least the primary, the head and shoulders above the rest, top athletic program at the University of Minnesota, and that is the women's hockey team for the University of Minnesota. They, this past weekend, won their 2nd consecutive, that's right, back-to-back national championships, and their 4th national championship in the last 5 years. And I want to say the one that they didn't win, they made it to the finals and were runner-up. That, folks, is what you call a dynasty. So congratulations to all the girls on this year's team and the teams from the last 5 years, as well as the coaching staff there doing an incredible job. And I think the unsung hero here that I want to give a little props to is the women's hockey programs here in the high schools in the state of Minnesota. Because it only stands to reason that the majority of recruits in D1 women's hockey are in-state recruits. And granted, they're getting coached up when they go to the U and whatnot, but somebody's given them, good competition and good fundamentals and good teaching of the game way before they get to that level. So when it comes to girls' youth hockey and high school hockey here in the state of Minnesota, major props to all of you for contributing to the Gophers women's hockey team's dominance here in this dynasty that they have established. And you're not going to ever get really pointed out or any credit probably from anyone else ever. But make no mistake, you are a factor in that. And so I'm giving you your props. Congratulations, U of M Gophers women's hockey team. Absolute dynasty. And we will close our balls on ice hockey talk out with the men's tournament, where my right down the street St. Cloud State University is the number 2 overall seed in the D1 Men's College Ice Hockey Tournament. They are the number 1 seed on their region or side of the bracket. But so, if you're into the college hockey, the number 1 ranked team is Quinnipiac? Oh, I don't even know how to say it. Quinn. We'll just call them Quinn. They will host Rochester Institute in the first round on March 26th. They will take on likely the winner of Yale versus Massachusetts Lowell. That game also on the 26th. Then in the bottom half of that division, we've got the number 4 overall seed Providence taking on University of Minnesota Duluth. And that game is on March 25th. That would be tomorrow, or this Friday, at 4:30 p.m. on ESPN 3. I was hoping it would be on ESPN Ocho because I can't get enough of it. And then whoever wins that game will be taking on the winner of Harvard versus Boston College. I'm picking Boston in that one, yeah. And then on the other side here, we've got the 3 seed overall in the tournament, UND North Dakota, the University of North Dakota Fighting Sioux. You will never ever hear me call them the Fighting Hawks or whatever, Fighting Chickens, Fighting Prairie Dogs, whatever the heck they're called now. The University of North Dakota will always be the Fighting Sioux as far as I'm concerned, and I will pay whatever fines and lawsuits someone's able to impose on me should they choose. But they are the number 3 seed overall in this tournament. They also play tomorrow. That game is at 2 o'clock p.m. on Friday, and they will take on Northeastern. Likely an easy win for UND. They will face the winner then of Notre Dame versus Michigan. Gotta like that. That's a 5:30 game that same day, and coin flip. Let's go Michigan winning that one. Michigan versus UND. That'll be pretty sweet. And then we get to, like I said, my and possibly your SCSU St. Cloud State University Huskies. They will be taking on Ferris State in round 1. Should be an extremely easy win. Hopefully, knock on wood. And that game is on March 26th at 3 p.m. And then, so afternoon game again, kind of like that. And then they will take on, hopefully, assuming they handle business, they will take on the winner of Denver versus Boston University. And I don't know. Again, let's go with Boston because I like talking with a Boston accent, like interim head coach at a Wild right now, John Torchetti. Because we got Kata and we got Porter, and we're gonna go far. Now, once those first round games are done on the 25th and 26th, the second round games will be on the 27th, I believe it looks like. First round is March 25th and 26th. Then the quarterfinals are March 26th and 27th. And then the semifinals would be the following week, April 7th, and the finals April 9th. So we will check in next week after the first 2 rounds have been completed and see where our Minnesota teams are at. Like I said, our St. Cloud State University Huskies, our University of Minnesota Duluth, and our University of North Dakota. North Dakota, excuse me, the H is silent in North Dakota. I apologize profusely. Won't happen again. All right. Well, as slippery as that may have been, we are done with Balls on Ice. We got a few more topics to cram into the show here before we are done for the week. Football, baseball, wrestling, and then maybe a couple really small quickies. And actually, you know what? While we're at it, let's sneak in a real quickie right now. I do have the results of all 4 of the NCAA basketball games that took place today. Oregon, much to my dismay, defeated Duke. Oklahoma, they defeated Texas A&M. Kansas defeated Maryland. And Villanova, much to my dismay as well, crushes Miami, Florida. So there are your 4 winners. I was 50% tonight on picking winners. Not too bad. All right. Well, I think we're going to quickie our way through everything here. Try and wrap this show up in about 15 minutes or so, give or take. I think we can do it. So since we're, like I said, quickie everything here, it doesn't really make much order. So let's get the one piece of golf news out of the way, or at least the one piece of golf news that I felt worthy of discussing, and that is young super stud Jason Day. He came out earlier in the week and announced that he was freaking out from back pain because he had a bulging disc, a bulging disc in his back, where he was in agony. He did struggle to a win, though, over Graham McDowell. I believe he's in some WGC match play event this weekend is where where the problem acted up. Still not sure how big or serious it is. just because it's feeling better or functioning